Good day, everybody. Welcome back to an episode of Popcorn and Opinions with your hosts, Owen and Reeson. His opinions. Such a lovely time to record another episode, have you guys listening in. So we actually reached 10 followers just the other day. So thank you so much. Just on behalf of me and Reeson, we just want to say thank you so much for taking the time, listening to our episodes, subscribing, leaving some ideas. We see you. Thank you so much. And to our one listener from South Korea, I'm very sure that came from our K-pop Demon Hunters episode. Thank you so much for listening in. We see you and we are sending so much love. Thank you for listening in. So we've got an interesting episode for you guys today. The new Fantastic Four first steps. And we're going to run through a few themes, a few plots, like the theme, the characters, the visual effects, the plots / the villains, the end credits, and what our verdict will be. So firstly, let's hop on our theme. Reeson, let's hear what you have to say.
Cool. Well, okay. For the theme of Fantastic Four, right, I actually really enjoyed it. It was a fresh take. So basically, the movie is based, I would say, in the 1950s because, like, from the architecture to the design of the costumes, as well as the Fantastic Four mobile, I think it's called, it represents the time period, which I really like. It was like a breath of fresh air to see this theme of innovation as well as reflecting in the time period, because, like, with all these quirky designs, the suits, like all of that stuff, it was very refreshing. And it was in terms of...
It's got a new look to it.
Yeah, 100%. It has like a fantastic look to it. It's not like all the other movies that are ultra modern and stuff like that. Like, I really like this new perspective in where movies are going, where it's like going back in time sort of thing, which is very, very nice. So what did you think of it?
So yeah, you mentioned back in time, but it's still like in the future. So we see like cars are flying, but it's this old style car, and now it's a flying mobile. Saw a few of the police cars, they were flying as well. So it's not just the Reed's family, can I say, or the Fantastic Four that have their own like futuristic tech. It's the whole world. So it's kind of cool bringing in that futuristic element. I thought it was great. I thought it was an interesting take, as you said, and having that old feel with the futuristic elements, that was something that I don't think a lot of, like, you know what, there was one cartoon that actually got that right. That was the Jetsons, to be honest.
Yes.
To refer it back to the Jetsons. So that was the only show, a shout out to the Jetsons, that was the only like cartoon or show that could have achieved what like Fantastic Four in this movie achieved. So I like that very much. The theme actually also represents the old comics of Fantastic Four, especially the Thing and his like eyebrows, that wide eyebrows. That was seen in the comics.
Okay, I did not know that. I'm not really a comic book fan, so I wouldn't really know that. But yeah, it's a very good, interesting take on it, which is quite good. I also feel like with the way the theme is, like in that era, there was a lot of inventions. Like if you've noticed with this entire theme, it's very innovative. With the designs, they're very quirky, very out of the box thinking, and that actually reflects well with the Fantastic Four. Like with the Reed Richards, he's very out of the box thinking. They're very smart people. The Fantastic Four are fantastic.
Innovative, engineer.
Yeah.
And can I just mention, you said earlier you thought the movie was fantastic. And I'm not sure if our audience can relate to this topic, but there was a meme going around on the internet. Just to give you a perspective, this is the third Fantastic Four movie with different characters. Well, the same characters, but different actors playing these characters.
Oh, it's the third reboot, basically.
It's the third reboot. So, but in the second reboot, there was this, the Thing said, "It's fantastic." And Reed Richards looked at him and say that again. So, tribute, that was fantastic. Just your wording, Reeson, that was funny. So I'll actually, with that, I want to jump into the characters. I think by far the most interesting character for me was the Thing. Ben, the Thing.
Really? I actually found Reed Richards to be a very interesting character. Like he's like a genius,
Okay.
but also has these analytical struggles in terms of with everything that's happening. He's still trying to have a logical way of thinking about problems, which is really cool. Like that it really reflects to his character, because even in the comics, even though I don't read a lot of comics, but I still like hear them as well. With that,
Yeah, you've seen a
he
reference or
always
two.
been he's always been a thinker and trying to see the worst problems and how to fix them, basically. So like
But
I
I
really
have to
like
ask you
his
a quick question.
Yeah.
In regards to your perspective with Reed Richards in this third reboot, what would you think is the comparison between the Reed Richards of the third reboot and the first one?
It's very difficult because people, whenever they think of the Fantastic Four, they think of the old Reed Richards versus this one. I really like the new take on his character, because he's going to become a dad. He wants the world to be a safer place to eliminate all the crime, basically. So he wants to do all of that. So like that's what I really like. With the other ones, we couldn't really explore this. It's like like having a kid, right? You can't be thinking analytically all the time, because some things can't be explained with logic. Like if a baby cries,
and I think
you'll think, cool, it could be this, this, and this. Meanwhile, it could be something else. So it's like he's forced to think outside of the box in a way, sort of thing.
It's like an instinct coming in. It's that fatherly instinct going in, like, okay, let's childproof everything. And that was also a reference in the movie. You could see he said, let's do some baby prep, or I'm not sure what he called it, but then literally everything, even the family members got aggravated by this baby proofing of the house. So I think that's only something you can understand when you get into that fatherly role. So I'd agree with you. Maybe he steps into this world of becoming a dad, which is in perspective of the previous movie, not his case, because in the first edition of the Fantastic Four, he just got married to Sue Storm. Now Sue Richards, but so he didn't think of a child as of then.
Yeah, like his responsibilities changed.
Yeah, absolutely. So the most interesting character for me was actually the Thing. You saw some elements of him yearning to belong to this one girl, Rachel, in the movie. So Rachel was, I think she was a group leader of like...
No, I think she was an elementary school teacher.
Was she? Oh yeah. Okay. And they had a little bit of a flirting scene, and it was cool to see, because in the first movie we didn't see the Thing being kind and this caring. Only in later times, when he met his second wife, I'm not sure what her name was, then he started to become this caring person. So it was an interesting take to see that the Thing loves children, he's trying to be nice, and he had swag, man. He put himself a nice suit and tie every time, and he's a cook. Come on, this big and brawny guy made out of rocks can cook. Come on. That was interesting.
Yeah, like I also really liked that fact. Like, plus I also feel like with this Fantastic Four versus the old one, it's more of they've established themselves, which is nice. We don't have to constantly have the origin story pushed upon us. It was mentioned, yes, in the story, but in the beginning. But this is like an established Fantastic Four. It's like, okay, cool. They've been superheroing for a bit now. So like I feel that's also reflecting in the characters, because people know them. They know Reed Richards, they know Susie Storm, they know the Thing, they know Johnny. So yeah, like it's nice when they do a reboot, but they don't tell the same story again. They build upon it because they know people already know the story, but just mention it for newcomers to get them up to speed.
Yeah, you mentioned that the same with the Superman episode that we made. That was our third episode, if I'm correct. So yeah, and you mentioned the same. I mean, it's not worth taking that time, and that would take like 40 minutes. They did a quick reference saying, okay, they were astronauts, they went to space, they altered their DNA. That was via that announcer of that show. He gave like a quick rundown, which was fantastic. Just kidding. So to Susan Storm, sorry, she is actually super powerful. Goodness gracious. The fact that she could make a whole spaceship invisible, what did you think about that?
I think it was really cool, but I also feel like she was kind of a bit overpowered in a way. Like comparing to the comics, like she's not, well, that powerful, but she was doing incredible things in this one, and I'm like, okay. So yeah, but I really did like it. I liked her character, all of that thing on becoming a new mom and stuff like that. But I also felt like that she was a little bit too powerful. But then also you could say is that now she's a mom, that she's a protector now, so maybe that would give her like a power boost in terms of she has more to lose now.
I wanted to slam the brakes when you said she was too overpowered, because I mean, think about it. You just got a mom, this big Galactus guy. So we'll jump in on that guy later. He's the main villain of the story. So when Galactus took her child, I mean, I think when it comes to a mother and a just born child, I mean, that child can't defend for himself. You're forced to make the move, and that was the move that ended up, and spoiler alert, killing her in the process, because she used all of her strength to overpower Galactus. So what a beautiful scene to me. That was the best scene for me in terms of sentiment and in terms of how being sensitive, and it's beautiful. This mom protecting her child and doing her motherly duty to also be the glue of the Fantastic Four. So I thought that was a beautiful scene.
Yeah, and also she's a peacekeeper and all, which is kind of cool.
Give me your rundown of Johnny Storm, though.
I was very disappointed in one thing. Why wasn't there a thing where he said flame on? There was no reference to it. I was disappointed. But I really like his character.
Did he really not say flame on?
No, he didn't.
Oh my days.
Yeah, but hear me out, right? I like the new take because, like, in the old movies, he was considered to be a stupid guy, like not really clever. But then in this one, he played a part in deciphering the Silver Surfer's message. He was proactive in that. Like, he wasn't just, okay, cool, I'm flame on, whatever. It's like, okay, cool, I can think as well. I'm intelligent. I know what's going on. Like, I'm not just the fire guy. And I really liked that.
Okay, the fire guy. Okay, that's valid. In the previous movie, he was called hot-headed, which is quite funny, because he had literally a hot head. But I mean, I agree with you. He played an integral part of discovering the background of Silver Surfer, which is a lady now, which was an interesting take and a stylish take to Silver Surfer as well. The whole process of Johnny figuring out this, and I mean, he almost became a linguist in the process of figuring out what the Silver Surfer said on all the recordings Reed Richards made. So very cool. He actually got into the same role Sue Storm had in the first movie of turning the Silver Surfer to help them face Galactus, which we actually didn't see Galactus in the first movie.
Let's talk about visual effects. So what did you think of the CGI as well as Johnny's flame on that he didn't say flame on about, Reed Richards stretching, as well as Sue Storm's invisibility, and then the Thing's look? What did you think of it?
Because he's my favorite, the Thing's look, I like the beard look. That was an interesting take, that the Thing grows a beard, and which was seen in the comics. It was a very big element in the comics, but that was more a testament towards Ben getting old. So it was cool to see that rocks can actually grow a beard, which was cool for me. For Johnny Storm and his flame on, quite disappointed. And in my head, I was getting sucked into the story, and I didn't even realize that he didn't say that he said that. So that's a bit disappointing. But his visual elements was great. So he used his hand as a torch, which is synonymous to his Human Torch, which is his superhero name, and which is very cool. And his flames made a nice aura around him, so I like that. And he actually the the realism going into the atmosphere of the Earth. What's the like the almost outside layer of the Earth where there's like no oxygen? Not
In
sure,
the
but
stratosphere?
I think it's the stratosphere. Yeah. So when he got there and he depowered and he was struggling to breathe, that was very realistic.
I also found like the special effects were very good in a way. Like I liked that, as you said, with Johnny Storm, like how he used his hand as a torch and all of his power that he has. If you actually think about it, like it also shows the mastery of his powers now versus when he first started.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, as I was saying, if you also look at the Thing's beard, right? If you look in the one scene, it's actually because they're conserving power that he couldn't finish shaving his beard or grinding his beard. So
Yeah.
that's why. And then he started growing it out, and then people started saying, okay, cool, he looks good in it. So then it was like, okay, cool, I'm keeping it. Yeah. Also, I liked in terms of the effects that Reed Richards with his elasticity, which was very cool. Like he could jump from building to building and all of that. CGI was very good. It didn't feel rushed like how the other Marvel movies have been with very bad CGI, which is like they really took their time to make this movie and like really do it well. So it like basically all the effects made nothing seem out of place, which is very good. Because the more you can make something as seamless as possible, the better it becomes, basically.
And it gives a creative ground to make sure, like, okay, we can use this for extra bit of storytelling, and it puts in an effect, so that helps the overall feel of the movie. So that was, I agree with you, fantastic. Even when you look at Galactus and the Silver Surfer as a sub and main villain of this movie, they had interesting elements. And even when you look at like Galactus's face, his face was like made out of rocks, which you could have seen his eyes, like his almost Batman style eyes where it was like glowing, or Iron Man style eyes where it was glowing, and then it turned back into his sort of human-like eyes. That was cool. That was a lot of purple and swirling elements and reflections off of the Silver Surfer, like really giving in that effect, like that person looks like a mirror. Super cool effects. And I agree with you. And a few Marvel movies that testifies to bad use of CGI. And
we're talking about Black Widow.
Oh goodness. So there was a lot of mishaps, but we forgive you, Marvel. That's fine. It's all about the story. I've got a quick point about Reed Richards' stretching. His stretching is nothing compared to the stretch of the first Reed Richards in the first Fantastic Four movie. Reed Richards could have stretched up until there's nothing left of the thing he needs to stretch around or stretch to. But this one, where Galactus pulled him like a piece of taffy, you could see he started ripping and getting sore. So I had a little bit of a tongue in the cheek moment. I don't know. It's not that great for me, but yeah.
Okay, so Owen, what did you think of the overall plot of the movie, as well as the villains?
The overall plot of the movie, looking at the concept of family, it was a beautiful topic. It took a long time to get to the point of fighting Galactus, which is the main villain of this movie. And yeah, so there was a lot of family time before like actual fighting of Galactus, which I didn't like too much.
Fair enough. What I thought about it was, I liked the build-up. I liked that they were talking about family. Like the whole thing was, okay, cool. We're in it as a family. We're the Fantastic Four. We're a family. So I really liked that. And also because they were established already in the movie, it really tied in very well. Like in terms of, if you look at it as well, they also united the world against Galactus, which was very cool.
That was impressive that they could utilize the entire world's energy consumption to a curfew based. I thought that was brilliant, and a global united vision, which is very great. I thought that was brilliant, and that also testifies to the family topic, like we're all in this together.
And it was a testament to it, which was great, like for the whole world uniting to like end Galactus.
But the one thing I have to say that twisted the plot for me is the fact that they, as the crowd, said, but I think they should rather give up their son so that the whole world could be saved. And that obviously creates some, I don't know, some moral challenges to the movie, which that is, I'm not sure if I will be able to do that.
Yeah, it's very different between logic versus emotion, because everyone will be like, okay, cool, you would sacrifice one person to save 1 billion, but when you're that one person, how would that make you feel? Sort of situation, which is a very good.
I mean, it'd been the easiest way to get rid of Galactus, but to think of it, it's your son that you've bared for like 9 months, actually less, because Galactus actually accelerated the birth time of Franklin Richards, which is very interesting, and which was actually concerning to me as well. It's when they actually got on the ship of Galactus, when they wanted to negotiate with him, he like stuck out his hand and said, "You will give me your son," and then all of a sudden Sue Richards, she just screamed and said the baby is coming. So that was a very intense scene, a cool scene to be honest as well, of Silver Surfer actually riding molten lava waves. That was cinema. 100% for me.
What did you think of Galactus as a villain?
Galactus as a villain is I thought, man, you want to consume this child because then you'll be like, I actually made a note where he said, "You will deliver me from my hunger. You are my salvation." I thought, dude, this is a baby. This is so out of pocket, so uncalled for, and it's utterly inhumane. So I had a lot of hate for this villain, but it was since that Franklin Richards have cosmic powers, so it's understandable why he wants to go for him. But still, I thought, you can't take my kid, man.
But then also, I also kind of feel bad for Galactus, because like he kind of has a motive for it, because he has this hunger that he can't get rid of, no matter how much he tries. And now that he's finally found something, because Galactus is very old, and also like if he's found something that can finally, that he can not have this burden anymore, and that you've been doing this for so long, it's like even the Herald said, you know what, if the child was older, he would give himself up to Galactus, basically.
But that's a concerning point to me, because how can you make then the decision for your child? Almost, because sure, maybe they would have raised him right, the perspective that he'll be a hero and he'll do it eventually. But that's a lot of like moral choices smashed into one. Like, how can you foresee the future? How do you know that this child? That's something I think I can actually speak about in a whole different episode.
Yeah, but like I really felt like, you know what, I feel like they could have dived deeper into Galactus, but they kind of didn't. Also, like Galactus was represented very inaccurately in this movie, because he's not that small. Even though he's huge, he is massive. Like, he can take up a universe, or like he's so big that he would never be able to fit on Earth. In the first, he would grab Earth in the palm of his hand. So I really felt like the scale didn't do him thing, because Galactus seemed like just like a Megazord sort of situation. Didn't seem like a
I was waiting for that reference. I was so waiting for that reference.
Yes. So yeah, like
So,
he
but yeah,
didn't capture the scale of Galactus because Galactus is supposed to
the
be
one,
huge.
yeah, and I mean the whole concept of him being a world eater doesn't make sense, because did he eat worlds? Because there was this one scene where he actually picked up ground, like a whole bunch and a clump of ground, and I thought he was gonna put that in his mouth, but he actually just smelt it and threw it to the ground. So now I'm curious, how does he eat worlds? Is
I
it
think
more
he
of
uses
like a,
that spaceship.
I don't want to say a spiritual thing? Does he like
I
kill
think he
worlds
uses that
just
spaceship
for?
that he has.
Oh, okay.
But remember,
Okay, and he converts it into energy for his
yeah,
body.
but remember, I think also he didn't come to Earth to consume Earth then. He came for the child.
Okay,
Because if you
good point.
notice, he doesn't, because he could have stayed in his ship and just pulled the power sort of situation or done all those things, but he
Yeah.
intended to come there to get that child.
Because the child would have satiated his hunger. Cool. Okay. So on to the end credits in regards to this movie and the beautiful ending it had of Sue Storm being revived by Franklin Richards, which had his cosmic power. Very interesting. So he revived Sue Storm, and it was a beautiful family moment again. 4 years after this, we see a grown up, not grown up, but 4 years older Franklin Richards having his mother Sue Richards reading his favorite books, and there's a lot of things to debuckle out of this scene, like The Hungry Caterpillar is the one book that they've read, and the one is Darwin's Evolution. Can you believe that? And the other one is, I think I've seen a fly by or something like that. But this is a testament to Franklin Richards being Galactus's heir to the throne. That's a long story as well, but since he's got cosmic power, he's technically the same as Galactus. So that storybooks testifies to how he could be the same as Galactus, as the hungry caterpillar just consuming more and pushing out to be this like beautiful butterfly, but now in the sense of being this cosmic being of immense power. The other one is the Darwin and that fly book, testifying also of him becoming Galactus and how he could become Galactus and evolve. Well, that's a long story, but to put that aside, Dr. Doom is in this whole scene as well, where he said, "I'm a friend of your father's." And apparently from the Russo brothers, they actually said that this is Robert Downey Jr. Like Iron Man.
Dun, 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 dun.
But dun dun dun, yeah, I was like, whoa, what that's an interesting take to it. So, and apparently this end credit scene has been shot on the Avengers Doomsday set. So that's something we should be looking out for in the future. And apparently the Marvel Thunderbolts end credit scene was also shot on the Avengers Doomsday scene as well, as where you can see the Excelsior ship of the Fantastic Four entering Earth's atmosphere, the Thunderbolts' Earth's atmosphere. So very interesting. So much to debuckle, and I think Marvel is up to a brilliant rise again as to the feel of how the movies have been.
Awesome. So the moment you have been waiting for is the Fantastic Four. A, rewatchable or regrettable? Over to you, Owen.
I won't say it's a regrettable, but it's definitely not a rewatchable. So I didn't regret watching the movie. It had great elements. It was sort of fun to watch. It had an interesting take to it, but it's just not. It didn't give me the feel of a great Marvel movie. It was done brilliantly, but I don't know. It's just something I didn't like. I want that action feel, like getting to fight, but there was too much. I don't want to say sentiment into it, but the sentiment was beautiful, but it's just not my style. So unfortunately, I'm not going to rewatch it, but I did not regret watching it, if that's what you want to hear.
Fair enough. Okay, for me, that firstly, I'm gobsmacked that you said that it's that you wouldn't rewatch it. So wow, that is incredibly crazy. Okay, for me, what I felt it is definitely a rewatchable. It's gonna be on my list. It's such a good movie. I really enjoyed it. The themes, the characters, the plot, all of that stuff was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. It's definitely going to be a rewatchable. All right, so let's move on to the final thing that we're wanting to talk about, which would be, out of 10, what would you give the movie?
I'd give it a solid 6.5. What do you think out of 10?
I am solidly giving this movie a proper 8 out of 10. Would rewatch it, highly recommend. It's really good. Yes, it's a slow burn, but it's also very nice. So yeah, that's what I would give it.
Cool. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for listening into this week's episode of Popcorn and Opinions. Whenever you're listening to this, never feel like, okay, Owen said don't watch the movie, but go watch it. Go see it for yourself. See if you like it. And you guys, you're always more than welcome to say like, oh, Owen, I don't agree with you. And I'm happy to debate. Maybe I'll change this movie to a 9 out of 10 after hearing what you have to say. So please go watch it. Be your own voice in this story. So yeah, wonderful having you guys on this episode. And just from us both, thank you so much for listening in. Stay tuned for next week. Who knows? We'll maybe do a little something that wears Prada, but we'll see how it goes. All of the best. Lovely having you.
Bye.